You all enter. You feel energized. You are now level 8. You have all your spells. You also have the equivalent of like a long rest. You are the best version of yourself, so to speak. So you're all in the guild. The Dragon Knight, the Copper Knight. Kind of motions you all to an off room. There are, there's a large table, a bunch of chairs. Just seems like almost like a meeting or conference room, so to speak. Doesn't really seem to be much in here. Some random carvings on the wall, sort of deal. He sits down at the head of the table.
I don't sit down. I'll stand right, kind of like just inside the door, off to the side.
It's a overly large chair, so you can tell it's his. Okay. I'm sure you all have questions.
No, going to the Feywild.
Did you guys see how I climbed that skeleton?
Saw you cut its head in half.
Yeah, I did.
That was awesome.
So awesome. Anyway.
Why did he come
And
back?
then I noticed Jorell and I get stoic faced again.
Why did he come back?
Clovis. He seems to enjoy mocking me.
Clovis is Clovis, apparently. Anyway.
He has a strong hatred of dragons, as I am currently the only one on this plane. I suppose he seeks me out to rub my nose in the fact that I have lost Roger and therefore my ability to bring back the rest of my kin.
Didn't he write about your dragon?
Gold, I believe, right?
Gold.
Do you have any means to find Roger?
When I'm near him, I'll feel his presence, but unfortunately I do not have a means of directly tracking him.
If you're near him, if only you could somehow get near him by not being locked away within the guild hall. But who am I to judge?
Yes, I'll just walk the planet aimlessly. Or I can wait here for you all to appear and show up, as was said.
So does that mean you're going to... You're done housekeeping? You can leave now and go do some good in the world? Is that it?
Of course.
Fantastic.
I think I have a plan. If we need to find Roger, we need more eyes and ears than we have available. So, let's ask somebody who may be connected with every animal, plant, blade of grass on the planet.
Oh, the good old days. But unfortunately, I can't do that.
I meant Gaia.
Even I knew that, Jorell. Mizr says with a chuckle.
You want to get...
Oh, wonderful, Tristan. I'm glad you've come up with a wonderful plan. We'll go with your plan of going to the Feywild.
No. You wanted to go see him, her, it anyway. Perhaps they'll be able to help us track him down.
Oh yes, that was part of the conversation I had planned with Gaia, yes.
I have questions for Gaia as well. That is, of course, that we all understand and expect that Gaia will answer any of our questions willingly. From what I know of Gaia, I've never met her myself.
Gaia will at least answer a few for me.
How do we get there?
Well, back in my prime, I'd simply... and we'd go. But unfortunately, it's not something I can do. So the only person who apparently is up on the times now is Mr. Stoic Face over there. So please, any ideas?
There's many ways to get to the Feywild. The easiest for you all. Well, this guild is connected to the other guild halls. It's cut itself off, but it could reconnect. Sadly, the Silver Guild seems to be, we'll say, decommissioned temporarily. Perhaps my guild, the Copper Guild, out in Tegan. They might have someone there that could get you to the Feywild. Or you could connect with the Blades Guild, from what I understand. Roger told me a little bit about them. And Kaelana and them. There's quite a network of the Blades guilds throughout most of the continent of Merizian.
Kaelana didn't seem too keen on helping us get to the Feywild.
Well, from what I understood, she had a bad experience.
What happened?
She said she had a bad experience.
What happened to the Silver Guild?
Clovis.
Apparently,
Oh, that was
according...
us. My bad, I forgot.
So technically...
It's been a while.
Do you know if Orion is still alive?
Sadly, I don't know for sure.
As
From
far as,
what I was able to see in your vision, it didn't look good.
as far as we're aware, this is the only surviving member of the Silver Tail.
Because y'all didn't get up on your back dues.
Oh no! I don't pay money to join the guild. Apparently I
You're all
walk
part
out a
of-
door.
You're all part of the network now. You're all part of the Dragentail Guild. By being a member of the Gold, you're automatically a member of them all. Silver would have granted you access to everyone below it. Gold grants you access to all of them.
Just trying to remember if it was brass or bronze in Tegan from previous games.
It was
Couldn't remember.
copper.
Oh.
That's why I refer to it as his guild.
Yeah.
So you'll send us to the mainland.
This temple, this guild will.
We have a friend waiting off the shoreline for us who, through much peril, brought us here. I wouldn't feel comfortable leaving him there alone.
Well, remember he said that he's going to fix his ship and leave, whether we're there or not.
Oh, he wouldn't do that. He might do that to us.
I can
Oh, he wouldn't. He
You
might.
would.
He really might do that to us.
I can communicate with him in the next dawn,
Fantastic.
so we can let him know that he doesn't need to wait for us.
And then we'll just reactivate the teleportation circle that exists within this guild and go from there. I assume since it sealed itself off, it's easier to get out than it is to get in. Yes, so that's what it will be.
I've been able to reactivate most of the protocols, as it were. This building is much more than just a building, as you might have gathered from your little trial. All the guilds are sentient.
Yes, it is a living, breathing guilt trip machine.
I suppose you could say that. You're not entirely wrong. It tries to force the best onto people. That is true. I can't argue with that. It hasn't left me alone since I've got here.
Save the world yet? No. Save the world yet? No. Save the world yet? No. Save the world yet? No! Save the world yet? No!
Well, I'm glad me and the guild hall have a little something in common with that. But I'm sorry that the guild hall made you appear as a bigger dick than you really are. Take that however you want.
The sword thing was pretty cool.
Thank you. I am glad I impressed you, I guess.
You are a dragon.
I am a dragon.
You're supposed to be impressive.
I damn well better be.
The sword thing was cool. I'm still not happy.
Sadly, until I'm able to return my kin to this world, I am not able to access my true form and all of my power, but I am bound to this form, but it's powerful enough, I suppose, which also, they don't always tell you the fine print. I didn't realize that I would not have my full capabilities, and therefore underestimated myself, and in turn underestimated Clovis, and that's how he was able to easily get the upper hand. Or at least that's how I've justified it to myself. Cockiness is never a good thing in battle.
Neither is sloth, but
Yes.
one problem at a time, I guess.
Yes.
Teleportation circle.
Sloth is not a good trait, says the man that slept for 3,000 years.
Mizr looks over to Jorell. Eagerly.
Oh, serve returned.
Now, how old are you again? Because we can discuss how much I've done in my lifetime versus how much you've done.
I've been on another plane of existence.
Yes, that's nice. I've been on many planes of existence.
That's nice. You've also slept for most of your existence.
Yes. Well, to each their own. What personal problems are you working out?
I'm trying to save the world, buddy. So.
Yes. Well, good job. Bang up job so far.
Yep. You've done just as well, sir.
Had you known me 3,000 years ago.
Is there more to the story? Had I known you 3,000 years ago.
Would you like me to recount how many times I saved the world?
I could have met the man that helped create Clovis, who's now causing disaster.
I don't recall creating him. He was an acquaintance. We did our thing.
You were part of the situation.
He got pissy about his own thing. But Clovis was a...
Out of game question. When last session, when he was explaining the trials and how he was the chosen knight for this round to reopen the gate for all the dragons to come in, what was the winning factor? What
made him win?
No, what made chromatics win versus metallics?
It basically, like, once there's 10 gates that let in each color or, basically knight in, so he's the copper, there's one for each. Then they have like a kind of like a Highlander fight, and there can be only one, and whoever is the last one is the one that then opens up the actual portal that then lets all dragonkind in. If the last one is a chromatic, then the chromatics have the advantage. If the last one is a metallic, the metallics have the advantage.
So he will eventually have to fight someone.
So eventually, he has to fight, or at least defend himself against, whether he fights 1 or 9. And the interesting factor, too, is, like, even though all the metallics are all metallics, they all still have to eventually fight each other. But they tend to go after the chromatics and then...
Each other.
Deal with each other, because they don't want the chromatics to win.
Is there any way to...
And in turn, the chromatics usually go after the metallics, and because the chromatics are the chromatics, then they'll group up against one at a time, or they have in the past, so, they don't fight fair.
And well, the way you also said that, like, so say Copper Knight, so Copper Knight wins. The metallic dragons then are in mass outnumber the chromatics,
but the coppers
are also and more so because
exactly there is an extra bonus to any specific color or metallic type winning, as they are then the majority or the higher percentage of that type coming back. So, like he said, if this Copper Knight wins, the metallics will be in a higher majority, though they'll be in the majority over the chromatics, but also then the copper will be the largest percentage of the metallics that return. So no matter who wins, though, not all dragons return, only some combination of what's in the other plane of existence. Some dragons are still over there from the beginning.
Is there any way to hinder or slow the chromatics? The metallics must win, or this world will be rained down in fire and brimstone.
It's nearly impossible to know which knight will come through any given gate, and eventually they all have to be opened, and the true war can't begin until all 10 are opened anyways.
Yes, so we have to at least allow all the other 9 to come through, and then...
Which we need Roger for. And Clovis is holding Roger hostage to stop the gates from opening, to lock it in a cycle of stagnation.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we already know what the end goal is. Getting there is just finding a route. That's all that matters. Whether it's through Clovis, around Clovis, over Clovis, or some other route entirely, because Clovis can just go.
He can shove dirt.
You can take his side. Shine it up real nice.
Turn that sumbitch sideways and shove it straight up your candy ass!
Where are all the gates located?
If we knew that, we wouldn't need a Roger.
I figured there were some kind of like waypoints in the world that everyone knew about, but I didn't know they
There-
were hidden per se.
The contest, as we refer to it for simplicity's sake, is specifically designed and created in a way to try to prevent any knight from hedging its bets, so to speak. Because you never even know which knight will be the first one to enter. It was just by happenstance that Roger freed me first.
And out of game, that's where his gate was.
Okay.
We're over here now, but it was right in those woods.
Cool.
So, does he have Roger? Does he
I don't
have
know
some
what that
kind
is.
of like
We're here.
Well, I mean, I know
innate
where we are.
sense of
Yeah.
where these are?
But
or-
game is
Roger
over
never. It was a trial, so to speak, for him and his compatriots to find my gate, or the gate that eventually freed me. But as his connection to the contest strengthens, which every gate that is opened, including my own, his connection to the contest is strengthened. He will eventually start to have seer-like properties and be able to have visions, sense, his proximity. He will have a better sense of, or be pulled towards the closest gate that he is currently at, or proximity to him. Naturally, at this point, now that I've been freed and the contest has begun, because technically the contest was not started until the first gate was opened. Now that I am here, the contest has begun. He is going to have some sort of force, and he's going to have a feeling, he's going to have a need to want to or
Seek
be
the other
pulled
gates.
to and seek towards whatever the closest gate is to where his current proximity is. Regardless of where Clovis has him, as long as he's on this plane of existence, he will he will feel as if he's being pulled in a direction. And then every portal that is opened thereafter, he will start to be able to have premonitions and visions and be able to have a more acute and finely tuned sense of exactly where the portals are instead of just being pulled into a direction.
And before Clovis took him, did he disclose any information to you?
Sadly, because of presumably the distance from where the closest portal was, the last I knew, before landing on this island, we just knew he wanted to go west by northwest. He was pulled in that general direction. Where, how far, I don't know. From this location, west by northwest is
Everywhere.
almost anywhere in Merizian.
So the world's greatest enemy is holding the world's greatest hope, and we have to go see the world's
That's just another
Worst
Tuesday
trickster.
for us.
for help.
The world's greatest trickster, is that what you said?
Gaia.
Wait, I mean Hugh?
Yeah, I was gonna say, oh,
Q?
you guys are going after me, Q? What?
Why is Gaia the greatest trickster? Wait, what?
Isn't that correct in your world, essentially?
No.
Oh,
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
She
I
just
guess
Gaia is Gaia. He, she, it.
Gaia is the protector of the Feywild.
There must be somebody in this world who is a strong enough magic user to be able to locate Roger some other way. While I agree that Gaia may be our best option, getting to the Feywild, getting back out of the Feywild, may be overly suicidal.
Oh, that's fine. I'm still going.
And I'm with you, Jorell. But in the meantime, is there anyone that we can put on some kind of a location, magic-wise, to try to locate Roger or help narrow down where he may be in the world while we're in the Fae?
I'm sure there are plenty of magic users in this world that might fancy themselves powerful enough to find him, and perhaps they are. I know a great many things. I know things that people on this plane don't even know, but I don't know
Everything.
everything, especially about this world currently. I don't have a roster of every person in existence. I know of the people that Roger told me a little bit about. I know the party that I met that helped free me, that helped Roger free me. Roger and I had some time to spend together and converse, and I heard some stories before Clovis took him from me, but, I'm limited to, my knowledge of people is limited to that exposure.
So
I do have this cool statue in the corner that I've been picking the crap out of, but I don't know. I don't think I can phrase a question correctly for that thing to answer what you want to know. He does point to this weird-looking statue that's in a corner, and it looks like a kind of almost like a cloaked monk, or a robed monk, holding a book. But what the most interesting or significant thing that stands out is the fact that its base is all. It looks like it was ripped off its base. That's exactly what it looks like. That's exactly what happened.
All right. So, this statue answers questions.
Yeah. It's supposed to be imbued with all the knowledge of the Great Library, I suppose. That's what its claim is. I knew I had a lot of catching up to do, so I
Yoink.
commandeered it. They had others. It wasn't like it was the only one. I didn't feel like I was stealing knowledge from the world. It just was one of the kiosks, as it were.
So I'll walk up to it. How does this thing work?
Do you touch it, or do you just walk up to it?
I'll first walk up to it. Okay, look at that. Recipes for apple pie.
Calculating. There are over 1,500 different recipes for apple pie. Do you have a preference?
Ones that do not involve using cinnamon.
Narrowing. Over 800 recipes.
Try it without apples.
Then it wouldn't be apple pie.
One recipe. Some use apple pears.
All right. And so I say, okay, then so show it to me.
It has a hologram-esque illusional magic that kind of pops up, projected kind of off the book, that the statue is seemingly holding, which is part of the statue. It's not just a book. And it shows you what the pie would look like. It doesn't give you a written recipe, but it shows you the pie.
Can you show me the recipe?
It starts, the image of the pie disappears, and it starts just showing you this many sticks of butter, this much dough, whatever it is. I don't bake.
Okay. So I figured out how to use it.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Ask and it tells you. It's an encyclopedic knowledge, though. It's not like talking to a living thing. You ask a question, it gives you as direct and factual an answer as it can, based off of the knowledge of all the books that apparently are entombed in the Great Library on the Wyvern Island there. Or the Library of Light.
Okay.
Or whatever they called it.
I would like information on locations that have a heavy influx of fey creatures.
Sill is the greatest concentration of fey creature activity.
How recent is this not information?
though separated from the library, I'm still up to date with any and all information within the library. I have
How recent is this information from Syl?
this information is not from Syl directly. Syl is cut off from most of Merzian, but
Elves.
How recently? How old is your information that you are relaying to where you pulled this from?
approximately 10 years.
Okay. Are there any other places where there are an influx of fey creatures? Just in case. We need at least a checklist to go down.
Andraste.
Or even is Syl on here?
Syl
Oh, I
is
think
this.
It's in the
And Andraste is an elven forest as well.
Woohoo! I like both of those.
Well, of the two, you're gonna like Andraste better because if I understand correctly, Andraste is where a lot of the high elves and wood elves live, and Syl is more jungle elves. Am I correct? No?
Andraste is mostly high elves and some wood elves, that is correct. Syl, no one really talks about Syl. Most people don't know about Syl. Syl's kind of the cut off
Where's Syl on the map?
elven slash
yes.
Feywild kingdom, I suppose you could refer to it as.
Okay, so then I'll be like, all right, could you display me a map of these places, please?
The jungle elves is the Darafi jungles, the
Teleton Islands.
Teletinian Islands is actually where there's a lot of gray elves over there. A map, yeah, he pops open a map of the continent of Merizian and kind of basically highlights the Syl area. The map zooms in on that area, then zooms back out, highlights the Andraste area, and the map zooms in there.
I'll turn to the Copper Knight and be like, so, any guilds we have access to in any of these areas?
Tegan's right there.
Yes, that's so much closer. Is there one perhaps in Andraste? No.
There are no guilds in any of the elven kingdoms.
So we have to go to Tegan either way. Okay. Alright. So we'll do that and we will go speak to some elves. Yes.
The Copper Knight.
Is Tegan Kalata?
No,
No.
she done Fort Gradamere, which is down.
So we haven't been to Tegan yet.
No, we have not.
Okay.
No, this party is not.
Not in this game.
The Copper Knight kind of has this look when you're like, yes, elves! And he's like, I clearly have a lot more catching up to do. I don't understand.
Yes. Look up, library man. Define racism.
Racism is...
Calculated.
Apparently there was a war between elves and people, and now everyone hates each other. Not quite sure where that came from, but, you know.
The statue kicks on when you mention that this is the Great Usurpation, when the humans kicked the elves from their lands. It started with a great dispute between the first King of Thunder Oak and the Elven King. The elves believed that the humans were chopping down too many trees and destroying too much natural life to make room for their cities and towns, and asked them to slow. Humans said that they were, they're foolish and the humans will do what they want, and banned the elves from their cities and kingdoms and towns.
Well, that's kind of glazing over one side of the story.
Basically, the humans said the elves were dumb. They're gonna do what they want.
The humans saved the elves.
No more deforestation. Screw you, elves. Get out of here. You guys are stupid. I do what I want.
Yeah, so... Well, off to Tegan it is. That's where the Copper Guild is, is that what you said?
Yes, the Copper Guild.
All right, off we go.